Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Yo, you're watching Distortion of the Static. Stick around for us, the Crown
City Rockers.
So if you guys can individually introduce yourselves, please.
Rashawn Ahmad, MC.
Max McVitie drums.
Kat Owano keys.
Hypnotic on the beats and the bass.
Woodstock, I make beats.
Okay, so you guys got the live instrumentation going on. So let's talk about a little bit about that. You know, there's not a lot of hip hop acts that are using live instruments. How is it dynamically as far as performing and recording? I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Man, in general, it's a hard road, you know what I'm saying, to go. There's not too many hip hop groups except for, of course, the Roots, which are, you know what I'm saying, the only ones who have really, really crossed over and done it real big. It's fun though, man. We have a blast doing it. It's a little difficult trying to get, you know, like any other group, we have more than one cat who has to do all the work. It's 5 of us, so we have to make sure all of our ideas mesh together. But it's just making music, man. It's good.
I'm sure you guys get compared to the Roots a lot of times. How does that make you guys feel? I mean, what kind of comparisons do you guys get, and how do you feel about that?
Well,
It's cool. If we're compared to the Roots, that's cool.
Yeah.
Bad question.
No, it's cats are. I mean, I think it's like, you know, we're like they're the only ones, like I said. So it's inevitable that we're gonna get compared to them. You know what I'm saying? But it's such a compliment and an honor, man. Those cats are amazing. You know what I'm saying? We really, you know, we've looked up to those cats as long as they've been around. Plus, like Tribe and De La and Wu-Tang and NWA. So I mean, if we can be grouped in with any of our heroes, man, that's great.
Okay, so talking about heroes, you guys individually have a separate role. I mean, let's go through individually your influences and the instrument you play and your influences in that area.
Oh man, the list is too long for drums, but lately it's been a lot of drum programmers like JD and Kanye West. Just people making beats and programming drums. The list goes on and on.
The same thing as far as an MC though. Rakim, KRS, Pharoah Monch, DLC, my big brother JBL. You've probably never heard of, but it's dope. Yeah, it's a long list of MCs.
As a keyboard player, probably Herbie Hancock. My influence, like he's influenced me the most. Plus Joe Zawinul and Bob James, all those '70s guys. And Alf Clausen, I really like him.
Alf Clausen from The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Wow, that's obscure. As far as beats, I've been listening. I mean, of course, the pioneers, the Mark 45 King, and Pete Rock, Primo, Dre. I've been listening to a lot of new producers, Super Dave West, Kanye. I'm blanking out his name. Just Blaze. I've been listening to him a lot. And as far as bass, I get a lot of bass inspiration from producers as well, and just from tracks, and sometimes just from like the echo of a bass drum. I try and emulate that, and I think we all try and take weird ambient noises that aren't supposed to be played on our instrument and find a way to make them on our instrument. I think that's the spirit of hip hop, is to take things sonically and just flip them on their lid and just do it wrong and make it fresh. And so I think, yeah, we end up hopefully with that more and more in the future.
Me, I make beats, so I'd have to go back to, like, of course, like the pioneers, like they said, like the Bomb Squad, freaking SD50s, Pete Rock. You know, that's just so much. So it's like I get a lot of inspiration from those cats, and also from like the original music that most hip hop people sample from, because it gave me inspiration to make beats also. So it's pretty wide open music in general. You know, I'm inspired by, and my friends too. So it's a whole lot.
Okay, cool. So if you guys can quickly run down the albums I know you guys had the name change too, so just run down what you went by before the albums, and then we'll talk about the newest album. Whoever wants to do it.
We first came out with an EP when we first moved to the Bay of stuff that we did in Boston when we were in Mission before we changed our name. And we put out that EP and a couple singles, and then the full-length album, One, and got good feedback off of that and just kept going, kept growing, just tried to make new and fresh music. And that brings us to today with Earth Tones, Crown City Rockers, our first album under that name. And there's only more and better things to come.
Any specific reason for the name change?
A couple. Well, the biggest one there was another crew called Mission. Well, maybe not a crew. Like these '60s goth rockers from the UK. They were called Mission, so they kind of punked us out of the name. Plus, the fact that Mission had two MCs, myself and this cat named Mo Pope, who's from Boston. He actually had to go back to Boston. He had a seed that he had to take care of, and he's still making music with a Project Move, dope album. But yeah, so just those two things, just made us come up with the name Crown City Rockers.
Cool. And then so let's talk about the new album, features, production, influence on the album, the feel. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
On the album, we have Scarab from the Living Legends crew. We have Gift of Gab from Black Alicious. We have Zion from Zion I. We have Destiny Wolf, which is an amazing Bay Area, LA singer, vocalist. Scott David Boyce, who's in a legendary Brown Fellini's jazz trio. He plays saxophone all over the album. And singers Luke Mine. There's a bunch of cats as DJs on there. DJ Plattern, Oakland Faders, DJ Zeph, DJ Icewater. Yeah, all the homies. It's a bunch of Bay Area cats, man. That's all the features on it. But the album, man, it's just like it's earth tones. It's kind of in that feel. It's organic, but at the same time, there's tracks where I'm just rapping over like loops, over just like sample loops, and then there's some where it's full blown out, only instrumentals with not even me rapping. So it's kind of all over. But just tried to make a good album, hip hop or otherwise,
Yeah. So okay, if people want to learn more about Crown City Rockers and pick up the music, where can they see you guys, catch you guys?
www.
Crown.
City.
Rocker.com. Peace. Peace. Rock.